next couple had admired the old home since they were kids, but when they finally bought the place, they got a knock at the door and a mystery that came, special delivery. They were just kids when they first saw this house in Clarkston, Michigan, so Amy and Greg Wilson never imagined that one day they'd own it. But before they could enjoy the home with their own kids, they had a bit of fixing up to do.
It needed a lot of updating. It was in good shape. It was in very good shape.
Structurally it was great shape, just cosmetic.
The Wilsons had no idea the 1910 Victorian once featured a wraparound porch that was torn down in the 1940s. That is, until a neighbor stopped by and asked Amy if she planned to put it back on.
So then I was on a mad dash, and I said, Greg, I'm going to the library. And I went and found the picture.
It was an old picture of their house, and Amy and Greg used it to help them rebuild its long-lost porch. And that's when they started hearing some strange rumors.
We had a lot of instances when we were putting the porch back on where people from out of town, older people would walk by and say that they were born in the house. But
why were so many babies born here? They hoped to turn up some clues as they fixed the place up, but what they found at first didn't quite add up. While renovating the barn, Greg uncovered an unopened bottle of what looked like moonshine.
It's been cold and it hasn't frozen yet, so we're making that assumption.
There were also lots of old license plates lying around, so Greg asked the neighbors and learned that the barn was once used as a mechanic's garage, which could explain that bottle of booze.
Could have been something where a lot of the men in the neighborhood came over to the garage and hung out and told stories and had a couple drinks.
But that sure didn't explain the baby stories the Wilsons kept hearing about their house. Why would so many people be born here? Finally, Amy found a clue in the kitchen.
We were completely taking the walls down in the kitchen. We went, oh my goodness, there was a little cardboard box with some medicine in it.
The medicine was an old-time remedy used by mothers giving birth to cure a common ailment.
It says instructions inside, which they were, and it was beware of imitations. It was 3 for $1.
Aha! Now Amy had some evidence to back up what she was hearing about all those babies.
When I realized that this house had a story, I went to go look for it. I came across Mary Elizabeth Green, and she was widowed at a very young age, and she kind of was an entrepreneur looking to make a living.
At first, Mary Green sewed hats to make money, but in the early 1900s, she decided she wanted a more exciting life, so she began working as a midwife.
She went to the homes and stayed after the doctor went on while the mother tended to the new baby. So she just became that grandma role, and the entire community knows her as Grandma Green.
Eventually, Grandma Green remarried, had another child, and turned her house into a maternity home where women could come have their babies and rest for a few days.
This is the actual birthing room. It was a small room. The actual birthing was done pretty much right where we're standing.
That explained the medicine in the wall. But Amy wanted to know more, so she contacted a relative of Grandma Green who sent her the home's old birthing records. People still drop by to reminisce about the babies they had here and the woman who helped them.
For a woman to go from making hats to delivering babies, she really was a go-getter in her time.
I think it just goes to show, too, that people did what they had to back then to keep going and survive.
The Wilsons have heard so many stories about Grandma Green that they wish they could have met her.
Sometimes when I do think about her and wonder what her life would have been like, I have a feeling she was very loving, very nurturing, and very motherly. She was well respected in the community.
And they're happy to raise their own children in what was once Grandma's maternity home.
It's a happy house. It's full of kids and commotion and hectic. It's busy, but it's blessed.